I feel like every day there's more news about the Steam Deck that makes me love this device. If this device had been available 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't be making these videos right now. I probably wouldn't have owned the last 10 or 15 devices that I purchased. I wouldn't have bought everything from gaming laptops to Android devices to Linux-based handheld tiny little Mayu minis. I would have bought any of that. I would have just bought the Steam Deck. At $399, it's an unbeatable value. And we're going to tell you why. So let me lay it out for you. Valve puts together a device that has a custom AMD APU. Custom made for this device. You can't find it in any other device. They build a handheld that is large, but portable. As in, you can hold it in your hand because it's not that heavy. And it's very comfortable to hold, even though it's very large. Now, it has its faults, and there's always things to improve. But no other company has created a device like this one. A device that does so many things for so many people at such an amazing value. You may have heard that Valve has just recently caught up with all of its pre-orders, and now you can just simply purchase a Steam Deck right from their website. Delivery takes 1 to 2 weeks, which is perfectly acceptable for a device. And now the floodgates are open. Anybody who wants one of these devices can get their hands on them at $399. It is the best value on the market. You find out exactly how good a value it is the first time you turn it on. Immediately you're presented with your own home screen. And not only that, but this particular home screen that I have on my device has been customized for me. And nothing I've done to this deck has been outside of what Valve says you're allowed to do with a Steam Deck. And that's the power of this device. Valve created the device, put all the components together, designed the software to run specifically for this hardware, and then gave it to the market and said, it's an open device. Do whatever you want with it. It's based in Linux, and not only are we going to allow you to do whatever you want with it, but we're going to make it super easy for you to get into desktop mode so that you can treat this machine just like you would any other PC running Linux. Not only that, but they monitor the market. They monitor the community. They watch and read everything that their customers are doing with the device. And when their customers are doing something that they want with this particular device, they build it into the functionality. Custom boot screens was something that the community created by figuring out how to replace the existing boot screen animation with another file that had some other video to display. Valve identified that, thought it was really cool, and now has given us a way to create custom video and to put them on our devices and to make them available to us anytime we want. Not only that, but that's not a beta release. That's not something that only the experts can try, right? In quotes, experts. No, this is for every single user. It's in the stable release. And they posted instructions on their website. I challenge anybody who watches this video or anybody else on the internet to tell me of another corporate console that has put a device out like this that has built in that kind of functionality within a year of its release. I can tell you there's none. And what the crazy part about this device is that it's only $399. I mean, we're talking $50 more than an OLED Switch. And you get so much more functionality. Not only do you get AAA games that are available in the Steam store, but you also get that huge library of legacy games. Now, I've set up all kinds of things on my Switch. Do I have some Steam titles? Absolutely. You'll see Dome Keeper right on the front here, right? And let me tell you, I'm having a ton of fun playing that game. It's a simple indie game, but man, is it fun. Right next to it, World of Warships, right? Something that's readily available. War Robots. And then look at this, F-Zero GX, a GameCube game, because I can. Mario Kart DS, Star Fox from the SNES, right next to Apex Legends. Next to Star Wars Squadrons, next to River Raid from Atari 2600. Next to another Steam store game, And wait for it, Return to Castle Wolfenstein from the Steam store, legacy game, fully supported on day one of the Steam Deck. It's not even marked playable in the Steam store. It's not marked anything. I installed it on the deck. It runs perfectly. Controls don't even need to be changed. I don't have to do any setup at all. You install the game, it just works. There's no other console on the market like that. Nobody else is producing a device like that that has that much capability and that much compatibility right out of the gate. A lot of this benefit comes directly from SteamOS. And I'm super interested to see what Valve does with other devices and SteamOS, and whether or not those other devices that they may or may not officially support will have that kind of built-in functionality, that compatibility, and in addition to that, the hardware control. Because that is really the secret sauce of this device. The SteamOS is designed in a way that it has very granular control over the specific hardware inside this device. A lot of people are complaining that the Steam Deck doesn't have good battery life. I can tell you how you get good battery life out of the deck. Right now, if you go into my settings and you take a look at battery, you'll see that right now my deck is reporting 4 hours and 45 minutes worth of battery at 60%. You know why it's reporting that? Because I have my TDP set to what? 3 watts. 3 watts. 3 watts of power. Now I can tell you that this is more than enough power to run any of these legacy games like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, any of the emulator games like River Raid or Star Fox or Nintendo DS or GameCube for that matter. It's more than enough to play World of Warships, more than enough for Dome Keeper. What are the only games that are going to need more TDP than that? Yeah, you're right. It's going to be Apex Legends and it's going to be Star Wars Squadrons. But to be quite honest, bumping up those 3 watts for those specific games to 8 to 10 watts is not a big deal because they also support individual settings per game. You can set in the settings, right here it has a selection where you can select individual TDP settings for each game. How amazing is that? Now you can set your deck up so that every single game has its own TDP selection. And it can sip battery life when it needs to and use it when it has to for some games that require more power. There's no other corporate console on the market that has that kind of hardware support, that has that kind of granular control over TDP for individual games right out of the box with no additional setup. Not only that, but it also allows every single user to have access to our performance overlay level, which is this cool. I mean, I gotta tell you something. I have been in technology for a long time, and I've been playing around with these devices for a long time, and this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. That you can just automatically, immediately turn it up to level 4 and get all of this information about your device. Exactly how many watts you're using, exactly how many, what each processor core is running at, what your GPU is running at. I mean, your frame rate. This alone is not something that anybody else does right out of the box with no additional setup, right? They sell you the device, and it's immediately available for anybody who wants to see it and whoever wants to turn it on. There's no other device on the market like that. And so what that means is that while I also bought a Retroid Pocket 3 for $144 shipped, this device, even though it's so much larger and so much more expensive, is a better value proposition than that device at less than half the price. Because you can do way more than twice as much with this device. I'm telling everybody out there who wants to get into any type of handheld gaming, immediately go and purchase a Steam Deck. Take advantage of this time where you can immediately purchase one. You will not be sorry. You want to play any game that's available out there, including emulating some of today's consoles. Think about that for a second. If I can go out and buy a Nintendo Switch for $349, or I can go out and buy a Steam Deck for $399, and I can emulate Switch games on this device, how is that not a better value proposition? Yes, it doesn't have an OLED screen. Yes, I agree, there are improvements that can be made in its size and in its battery life. But for $399, this kind of performance, absolutely amazing. And people are making all kinds of accessories for the device. I even have the DeckMate. It serves as a great way to store an extra terabyte SD card and a way to mount the device on anything I need to. Not only that, but these SD cards can be swapped in and out, hot swappable. So I could load this terabyte card up with whatever games I have, whatever games I want, plug it into the device, and they just appear right in the screen, right in the library. Unplug that card, plug a different card in, new games appear in my library. I don't know of any other device that has the ability to do that. Certainly not any other corporate device. So I got to tell you guys, this is a great value for what you're getting. It's a great price. I can't say enough about how good a value this is for your gaming needs. I got to tell you, if I didn't have a desktop computer already, and I was looking for something to purchase to play video games on, I don't think I'd buy a desktop. Knowing what this device can do, I think I'd buy this, a dock, and some monitors, because that's how good it is. And that's how much I'd be able to game on this device by itself. I know this has been a long video and I'm really just talking about the functionality and capabilities of this device, but it's really blown me away in what you can do. So we're going to have a bunch more videos about the Steam Deck, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's the best device on the market to play your video games, period, in a handheld form factor. I've even started developing a cyber deck that's based around this device that will allow us to create an off-grid network if needed. And I'm going to start doing some more work with that and finalizing it, and we'll put it on the channel, let everybody see what we've made. But I'm telling you, I think it's a great start for a device that's going to be very well received. So hope you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you on the next one.